Actually, my first contact with ACLU was not too heartening. In the early 1950s, I had a reserve commission in the Air Corps. Not an active, I was inactive reserve. And this was when I was working at the Renton News Record. I got a letter from the Air Corps saying that they wanted to investigate me for possibly being a political subversive, and that they wanted to hold a hearing for me down in Portland, a military kangaroo court. And I thought about it for a while, and I wrote back and said, yeah, I'll be down. Then the more I thought about it, this is a real crock to go before a group of officers to try to defend yourself when they consider you a red. So I told them to shove it, and they grabbed my commission, which didn't hurt me at all because I didn't plan to be active in the military anyway. So at the time I got this information, I was not a member of ACLU, but because I was pissed off, I went before the ACLU board here and asked them for help, that this was a violation of my civil liberties. And this must have been in 1953 or 4 or something like that. And they wouldn't take my case. They wouldn't do anything on it. So I did not have too high a regard for ACLU at that time. But as I became involved in the effort to eliminate the House Un-American Activities Committee, ACLU was doing something nationally in that regard. And so I renewed my contacts, and eventually I ran for the board and served a decade or more on the state board. And I was chair of their anti-HUAC committee and so forth. But they were involved in many worthwhile activities in the field of civil liberties, and still are. I think that ACLU should have done a better job in terms of these unconstitutional wars the Bush administration is in. My own understanding is that these wars are unconstitutional, they're crimes against humanity, and ACLU should have jumped on that right at the beginning, challenged the whole idea of the unconstitutional nature of the wars, but they didn't do it. But they have begun to raise questions about Guantanamo and other activities, so they are doing some good work, but not enough as far as I'm concerned.